I'm Achievers Mumbai Kabubai, Deputy Chairman, Public Account Committee, Chairman for this year.
Let's hear from the Secretariat.
Good morning, I am Augustine Sise, Health Secretary at Public Accounts Committee. With me are staff attached to the committee who perform secretariat and clerical support to the committee. Please show your hand for recognition. Thank you.
Mr. Mustafa, could you please assist auditees to introduce themselves? Name of institution and designation. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Ibrahim Uma, Procurement and Logistics Manager, Judiciary.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Halima to Christian Moses, Deputy Master Registrar, High Court.
Good morning. I am Ezekiel Ganawa, Senior Accountant, Judiciary.
Good morning. I'm Lloyd Jusso, Deputy Master Registrar, High Court of State.
Good morning. I am Alfasari Kankano, Head of Registry at Corruption Court.
Good morning, James Sise, Facility and Assets Management Officer.
Good morning, Juanita Dauda, HR Manager, Judiciary of Sierra.
Good morning. I'm Alpha Banichalo, IT Manager, Judiciary of Sierra.
Good morning, I'm Hassan Kamara, Senior Accountant, Administrator and Registrar General.
Good morning, Martin Agenda, Administrator and Registrar General.
Good morning, Daniel Johnson, Deputy Administrator and Registrar General.
Good morning, I'm Batam Otalin, Senior HR, Office of the Administrator and Registrar General.
On the presumption that we've all prayed this morning, I will now invite officials from the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General to please take the seat at the I table. I will now invite the Head of Secretariat and Clerk to the Public Accounts Committee to administer the oath. Mr. Clerk.
Very much. As required by the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act Number 6 of 1991, witnesses appearing before the committee must be presentable. And I want to refer us to the provision, Section 93, subsection 6 reads, for the purposes of effectively performing its functions, each of the committees shall have all short powers, rights, and privileges as are vested in the High Court at a trial in respect of A, enforcing the attendance of witnesses and examining them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise, B, compelling the production of documents, and C, the issue of the commissioner request to examine witnesses abroad. On that note, I want to ask that witnesses rise for the vote. We have the holy books, the holy, please rise, the holy Bible for Christians, and the Quran for Muslims. You may connect yourself to the book. You say, I announce your full names and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you. Mr. Chairman and members of the meeting.
Good morning, Office of Administrator and Registrar General. You are welcome to Public Account Committee hearing. Our job is to review the audit reports and to next recommendation made out to general. So without wasting much time, I'll ask the chair to go through the issues. We have some queries to answer and to respond to. So you are most welcome.
Thank you very much. Acting Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. Auditor General's report on the accounts of Sierra Leone for the financial year 2023. Page 209, 4.51. Office of the Administrator and Registrar General HQ 2023. 4.51.1. Revenue reconciliation not performed between the NRA and the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General's Office. The Office of the Administrator and Registrar General did not provide revenue reconciliation between the revenue returns records maintained by the institution and the general revenue account held at the Sierra Leone Commercial Bank (SLCB), as well as the Smart Copper money transfer system. Upon review of the documentation, we observed that the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General records indicated a total revenue of NLE 4,457,110.34, whilst NLE 4,958,048.00 was in the NRA records, resulting in a variance of NLE 5,00937.66. This variance was not investigated and corrected for the period under review. We recommended that the NRA revenue officer should ensure the variance is investigated and corrected and evidence of correction submitted to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Official response. Management noted the auditor's comments and reiterate that the general revenue account, transit account, and smart copper money transfer system are controlled and operated by the National Revenue Authority (NRA). Therefore, advise that such query be referred to the NRA. Management also noted the variance of NLE 500,937.66. This occurred as a result of the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General's records showing exactly what is in the Finance Act for the different revenue streams, while the NRA records show the figure in the Finance Act for the different revenue streams plus extra charges for using the smart copper money transfer system for payments. These extra charges account for the variances showed by the reconciliation between the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General's Office and the NRA, different revenue streams for January to December 2023. Evidence of sampled order to pay for the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General and NRA, receipts and revenue reconciliation performed between the Office of the Administrator and Registrar General and NRA are available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. Management's response on the service charges paid for transactions processed by Smart Copper is noted. A general review of the monthly collection from the bank statement and the NRA showed inconsistencies in the monthly collections. Therefore, the assertion that the extra charges could have led to the variance is untenable. Moreover, further review of the bank statement submitted during the verification exercise showed that of the NLE 4,457,110.34 collected and recorded in the NRA cash book, the bank statement revealed that NLE 6,238,019.70 was deposited into the designated bank account. This resulted in an unexplained variance of NLE 1,780,909.36. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
Yeah. Why the variance and why you failed to produce evidence of what you claim you have done?
The office would like to reiterate management's response during the 2023 audit report, which has just been read by the honorable member. And a reconciliation exercise was carried out between the NIA and the OLG. We even sent letters last week to the NIA just so they could provide us with the bank statements as well. So the reconciliation showed that the NIA bank statements recorded a total of 6,238,019 for both the headquarters and regional offices. So I think this wasn't captured in the report. It's both the headquarters and the regional offices. So on the other hand, the OLG and the Smart Corpo reported on the order to pay 5691,422.44. So this resulted in a variance of 546,597.26 leones between the NIA bank statement and the OLG Smart Corpo system. So the difference mainly arises because the NIA applies slightly higher charges compared to what is embedded in the Finance Act. So if you take a look at the Finance Act 2024, which has OERG fees, it shows the amount of fees the Office of the Administrator collects. But, pardon?
This is 2020, so we are limited to 2023 audit.
Yes, so the Finance Act of 2023 or 2022. So which has all the collection, the amounts collected by the OERG. So it's a bit on the high side when it's been collected by the Smart Corporate Collection Act. So what we record is what is embedded in the Finance Act. So whatever differential comes out of that, the calculation is done between the OLG and the NIA.
Auditors are claiming that you do not provide evidence.
Good morning again. The auditors during the audit exercise, we presented to them the reconciliation, and the auditors verified those reconciliation. After that, when they went later, NIA submits the bank statements to the auditors. And that bank statement is not only for the head office, it comprises both the head office and the regional office. So the audit was meant purposely for the head office. So it is the reconciliation that's done, I and the NIA investigate. So we submit that to the auditors. So upon review again, final management letter indicates that when the auditors went after the verification report and NIA later submits the bank statement, it takes to the bank statement and commits everything in the bank statement, so they total it up and put it in their final report without that NIA collects 6 million some hundred, while we have to collect 2 million some hundred, and the variance is 1,700,000. But at the first, the initial variance was 500 when the auditor was really doing the verification exercise. So they total both the region and the head office. So upon that, we visit again, we make communication to NIA for them to give us a printed bank statement and the submit. When I do my review on the bank statement, I saw that as the first initial audit verification, this is our variance, which is 500. Now the variance has increased because of your review of the bank statement to 1.5. Now looking at these other documents, I make a copy of the regional total. I forward it now to the auditor. looking at this other document of the region has increased our revenue generation from 4,000 to 5,900. When we deduct it from the revenue collected by the auditors, we have now a variance of 546. At first, for the head office, it is only 500. Now, because the regional office has been included, it has increased now to 546.
From his explanation, it appears as if the way IJ is operating. But for all I know, this we are also supposed to work under one way. When the auditors go for their audit, they audit you on behalf of all your subsidiaries or all your branches. And as an accountant in charge of the office, the onus is on you to make sure that you collect field reports, right? Because when we do the budget appropriation, we don't want to know whether you have branches or not. It is the head of the administrator and the general and the team that will come here and defend whatever budget. So when the auditors go, it's also clear. So if you have something that if you have branches, it's the onus on you to have disclosed whatever sources or whatever revenue they are generating. What I realize is the auditors are more disputed the fact that you are doing daily reconciliation between the OARG and that of the NI. As stipulated like your boy, indeed, that was done. I'm sure, entirely if it was done in line with the spirit of Regulation 17. Do you know what it says? And how are you supposed to reconcile? When at what interval are you supposed to do reconciliation? Monthly. Do you want me to read that? Monthly, that's how you do it. Huh? What's edition? Did you amend it on money to parliament? Probably have a mini parliament in the office that you can amend whatever laws you pass there without your authority. Do you want me to read that? Regulation 17. It says the Commissioner General, that in this case NRA, and the vote controller of the involvement of the auditor to have raised an alarm. If you are adhering to Regulation 71, it is clear that if there were any anomalies in the collection of revenue, you should have picked those issues up. On a daily basis, whilst you are doing it on a monthly basis, that's why I said probably you are referring to a law that never darkens the walls of Parliament. Is that how you operate there? We pass laws here, we say daily, and then when you go there, you do something different. Do you know what does that mean? That can be interpreted to be what? Is it not concept? When we act contrary to the dictate of the laws. Because he was supposed to perform a duty and a failed. I think we have to make sure that the only probably the caveat said it's not a short form. Probably it's more revenue, but because of his failure to perform his duty, I think we should remove some sections of the Police Service Act to the accountants.
Can you please assist him to go through the question you just like?
The penalty, you want it?
No, it's not about it. You want to read it yourself?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
But you don't trust me? It's not written by Parliament. For you to implement. And then you went on your own side and amended that regulation without the authority of Parliament.
I think the way they stated that
took out
evidence according to the
clearly
report.
stated in section 105 of the Constitution. It's only Parliament that mixed up. Yes, so
that's the content.
So you are supposed to account for something like what's the difference? 107.
Yeah,
you have done that. How?
We upon review of the final
do you have your MLD and your do you have your MLD? Was it given to you?
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of it? Huh? See, first, and you have to face the parliamentary committee of audit on public accounts committee, then you fail to bring your tools, how can you go to school without your books?
We only bring the section of audits.
The ML gives you a comprehensive records of what happened during the course of the audit. So I would not expect you to have come here without except otherwise. It tells you when he has admitted that what he has been acting on is a law carved or created by UARG, that's a parliament.
You cannot proceed without the necessary document. We need evidence from you. So can you provide us?
Yes,
the accounting of document that you failed to produce to the Auditor General.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, yes, can I be heard beside the mic?
Somebody,
I have no. Good morning. I am Honorable Mohammed Bilosho, Calabar District. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I hope I will not be seen as being playing the role of a devil's advocate, but I think
I hope you will.
I will not. I think if they don't have the documents in their office, they can be given time. Let them bring the documents. So because we have a lot of issues to address, we want those issues.
So you might have to stick a pin on this particular issue.
Yes.
While some of that is being solved, we can make progress on the next issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
On that note, I will stick in on this and proceed with the other issues. Because they're unresolved, but you have not decided document. So, Director.
Thank you very much, honorable members. 4.51.2 staff on leave without medical report. We observe that an employee with PIN code 131530 received a total salary of NLE 162377 from January to December 2023, while reported to be on sick leave. We were not provided with a copy of the sick leave letter, the medical report, and the personnel file to verify this claim. We recommended that the senior human resources officer should submit evidence to support the sick leave claim. Otherwise, his name should be removed from the payroll and the amount paid as salary should be recovered and paid into the consolidated fund. Official response. Management notes the auditor's concerns with respect to staff on sick leave and reiterate that this was a case I inherited at this department, but nevertheless, a letter had been drafted for the abandonment of postings since there is no evidence to justify these actions. Auditor's comment. The request to the HRMO for the removal of the staff name from the payroll was submitted for audit review. There was, however, no additional evidence indicating that the name had been deleted from the payroll. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
Yeah, what is the status of this particular staff in question?
You want to respond?
Good morning and afternoon. The issue of Mr. Martin only came up on Monday when I received a letter from the administrator and the Registrar General attending the individual question. I never know November 2024. In another office of that.
Who was the HR?
It is and now on settlement in another office. But
The accountants were you put who provided the response?
the HR.
when you're sure you commit, I'm sure even the vote consulate, I know his name. Usually were there. Who was in charge of coordinating?
Well, the child, then the issue by then, the child wrote a letter.
There's an evidence to
The child wrote a letter to HRM for the petition of Mr. from the payroll. So
when did the child
on April.
That's not within the course of your April of what?
April 2025.
But not when you read.
Oh, that was the time when they is a post audit.
Oh yes.
So what is the state of his name still on the voucher payroll or what? Has it been removed?
At present, we are not receiving payroll anymore from HRM. So unless later in the day, the child will be follow up to HRM or to note whether his name is there.
That the request to the HRM for the removal of staff from the payroll. Okay, it was submitted. Therefore, okay, there was however no additional evidence indicating the name to be related. So it's not that it's I think we have to consider this.
Yeah, this one is resolved because
The fact that they are voting, there's going to delete the staff from the payroll, which should not be responsible for HRM, can follow up with HRM.
Yes,
it's now still in the payroll.
We are not.
No, but you should have, even if the staff, you should have records of the staff.
For the HR.
I think we need to send this case to ACC for ACC to continue the investigation. But we need the money back. You know, they'll be paying this woman. This is 162 million onions. So if they have stopped the payment, then the money must be retrieved. And if it is not done, then we have to write to ACC to take over. You know, I think they have the more equipment to retrieve the money easily than you. So, Chairman, this is my own.
All right, thank you very much. The chairman, what I would advise, you need to do follow up. You wrote for the removal of the particular staff from the payroll. So try to follow up with your manager to ensure that is done. And also to find out what happened with money that was paid when the person was on leave in terms of supporting. And I will not have to hold you too long, wait to reschedule you to come back to follow up because once you have evidence with regard the variance, whatever will not be stand result. So you need supporting documents.
Yes. I want to additionally submit the committee will now to cover letter asking for the status for that particular staff.
So submit the letter to the secretariat. We'll find a way to follow.
Mr. Chair, I just want to lead this house to look into our evidence. Because
please submission of evidence now.
You are not held with the document too. Whatever you fail to submit because of it, not bank on engagement.
Yes, I know that we submit these documents to the auditors. So we just want to show the documents we submitted to the auditors during the course of the audit. And these documents will bring along with us to respond to.
We rely on the audit report. They stated that you wrote letter to HR. With regard the removal. Yeah. No, we cannot because there's nothing here. Work on evidence. Yeah, this fourth issue. Of course.
Honorable members, kindly crave your indulgence was to come back. Please. Okay. Again, Mr. Accountant, yes, then again, I will advise you to do so because you come back next year if you don't, send your documents to Accountant General, General, so that you can wipe it off, or else if you come back next year and you sit down there again, explain it. So go see with them, give them the documents. They will, you will arrange with them and then they know what to do.
So, I want to stand with that.
Thank you very much.
So you go internally, yes, go very good. So you get sure.
So we now invite the Judiciary of the Republic of Sierra Leone headquarters. Please do occupy the seats at the high table. Of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone and the Standing Orders of Parliament. So for those of you that are Muslim, get hold of the Quran. Those that are Christians, do get hold of the Holy Bible. For those who will not be able to get hold of the Bible, you may stretch your hand as I invite and Sayo to administer the oath. Thank you.
When I say I, you repeat your full name. You say your full name and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, your witnesses.
Judiciary of Sierra Leone, you are welcome to PAC hearing. You have some field audit queries to answer to. I will ask the director to take us through the issues so that we can all discuss it and see how best we can resolve them if they are resolvable. Secretariat.
Thank you very much, honorable members and witnesses. The Auditor General's report on the accounts of Sierra Leone for the financial year 2023, page 207, 4.50, Judiciary of Sierra Leone HQ 2023, 4.50.1, lack of a centralized automated case management system. Contrary to Policy Action 6 of Cluster 4.5 of the Medium-Term National Development Plan, MTNDP 2019 to 2023, we observed the High Court, the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, and other specialized courts still operate manually without an automated case management system. This could lead to delays in processing cases, difficulties in tracking the status of cases, potential errors in record keeping, and challenges in accessing and sharing case information. We recommended that the Master and Registrar in several newspapers to source a service provider for the Judiciary Justice app on automated case management system for the Judiciary. The process was not completed as only one bidder responded with high cost. This warranted the procurement committee's recommendation to re-advertise. All documentation related to the process is available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. Procurement documents in relation to the procurement of the Judiciary Justice app, such as adverts and billing documents, as stated in the management response, were not submitted to the audit service Sierra Leone. In addition, there was no evidence of management's action to acquire or develop a centralized and automated case management system for the Judiciary. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
So, what is the status of case management? Are you still doing it manually, or have you automated and centralized it? How are you managing your cases?
Good morning. My name is Alpha Banijalo. I'm the IT manager. Currently, we are using an automated system only for the magistrate courts. We intend to roll out from the magistrate courts to the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and then the Supreme Court. But now, the Ministry of Justice is in the process of having a centralized case management system for the justice sector, inclusive of the Judiciary, the Correctional Center, the police, and the office, the DPP's office. So we are all now working together to have that centralized case management system for the justice sector. That will be one case management system, a centralized case management system, rather than Judiciary as a case management system, law officers have a case management system, police have a case management system. The Office of the Attorney General has just is in the process, we're in committees meeting, they're in the process of having this centralized case management system for the entire justice sector. And Judiciary, we are short of funds to continue the process. So now we have stopped that process and we are all going forward with the centralized case management system being put forward by the Ministry of Justice.
You re-advertised?
Yeah, we re-advertised. It was a funded project by UNDP and the United Nations Development Project as they are funding that project as a pilot phase, which we started successfully at the Magistrates Court and we intend to roll out to the High Court and the Court of Appeal.
So I just noticed that.
No, Chair. Are you doing it, Chair? I'm fine.
Okay.
By the way, did you subscribe to it? Did you subscribe to it? Yes. Okay.
I am Ibrahim Kuma, the Procurement and Logistics Manager. Yeah, we definitely re-advertised and we had Blue Ribbon as the only bidder that bidded for that lot. But their bid amount exceeded the budgeted, so we were unable to close. And it was a funding program by UNDP. So because their bid amount exceeded exceeded the amount that has been budgeted, we were unable to close it. That is the reason why we were unable to have that process be closed.
So it's almost the same answer. What is in the document? The first advertisement was when only one bidder. Yeah, and you, in your official response, you even assured the Auditor General that you are going to submit documents to justify the process. That's only one bidder. And in their response, they said that document was not presented. So what?
The submission seems to be like it just gave more evidence to the first advertisement. Because the first advert he did, the resultant of it was
because one bidder, like, or the only person that applied was the sole bidder, and his cost was high, you are unable to award the contract because of budget constraints. And then you said you are going to re-advertise. Part of the commitment you made as per the document based on the response. So that's why Chair asked, did you re-advertise?
Well, because of the funding, remember we had funding from the UNDP.
But are you in agreement that you did say then because of that you are going to re-advertise?
Yes, we agree.
So did you advertise?
Well, because we are not sure of the funding again, so that's why we do how we'll be able to close it because there is no way to continue that particular.
But you actually had money. You actually had money for that, for case management software or whatever.
Well, the money, we actually state we have a line that is stated there. But that money, based on the system that we want to do for all the high court, the appeal court, will not suffice to actually close that process. So we are able. So that's why the management we are trying to see how best to be able to adjure UNDP. But last year they didn't provide any funding for us because of one or two reasons.
But your response said you have automated case management with magistrate court. You are trying to roll over. If you cannot roll over with high court and appeal court, why can't you start with one court? One of the two courts.
Yes, we have case management system for the magistrate courts, supported by UNDP. Okay, it's working well at the magisterial level. So we intend to roll it out to the High Court and Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. Then we advertise for that, and then we have one bidder. The existing case management system is called Justice App for the Magistrate Court. It's working. We started as a pilot program. After some time, we realized that it's working well, and then we intend to roll it out to the Superior Court of Judicature.
But you promised you advertising. You cannot award contract because you only have one bidder. Now, what have you done since then?
The funding closed. It was a project, it was a funding line from the UNDP, and the funds closed. So in 2024, we sent another project request from them to support the same initiative. They replied us that they are now supporting the Ministry of Justice initiative to have a centralized case management system. And that is what we are working towards now, to have a centralized case management system for the entire justice sector.
But do you know what is not clear? What I know is I don't know, I'm not a procurement specialist, but I know that before procurement process is initiated, normally the procurement officer should be able to know the prevailing norm, the price norms or whatsoever. It's based on the price norms that he would agree or to include a particular procurable item in his budget plan. So forth.
Yes, that is it. But the price
and normally the norms are normally on the higher side.
The price
they take into consideration of any price volatility or whatsoever.
The price norm do not normally capture
the actual prices. So if this item was in your procurement plan, I'm sure you should have done due process. So coming again down after the process has already installed, let's say because of lack of more funds or whatsoever, I want to believe that maybe we are able to do some due diligence to advise management as to what the project actually entails, because you should be able to advise management to say, okay, based on the prevailing circumstances, we cannot do this before you could even venture into advertising, because otherwise your action will even cost government to even incur budgetary issues or budgetary spending that we are not supposed to have spent.
Well,
because every advert you have to pay.
Yeah,
so that in itself resulted to some costing issues.
Well, I'm looking at it, it depends on the scope of work. Now, because it is, let's say, contract or service, it has to go with the scope of work. These activities are not normally defined in the price norm. Price norm mostly captured goods, but this is specialized service that deals with professionals. So basically, we will not be able to measure it. It depends on the scope of work that will be given by the unit. And based on the scope of work, we collate and then prepare the bidding document that we share out. So it depends on the scope and the activities that have to be covered that will determine the pricing.
So that's why you are still coming to my point. So it was based on that scope that should have informed your recommendation to management that they can carry on with advertisement. Because there is no way you can initiate a procurement if you have not looked into the scope of the work. So did you do the scoping of the work before you recommend to management?
Yes, in fact, the scope was not changed. It was the same scope that we shared that we have been using previously.
So can we say that your scope misled management?
Well, the scope is given to me. I'm not.
Yeah, no, it was not realistic because it was accurate. I'm sure the cost issues wouldn't have come up.
Let me just, we are operating in a perfect competitive market. Wherein prices are varied. Now, a supplier, you can send out a bid. Supplier A will give you this cost, and then supplier B will give you another, C, etc., etc. So, let's say you've been working with A, and A, since when I came in 2020, that is what we've been using. So, looking at it, when we put it out, those, because of technical reasons, they said they will not be able to comply. They will not participate. And we only had a new one that said their own scope is way above. So that own cost, they will have third party, that is their own parents' body. So because of that, we are unable to meet their pricing.
Mr. Governor, can you hold it there? Let's go back where we started. This is a kind of network system, and we don't have plenty of those comments in CLU. So at the initial stage, even before initiating the procurement, don't you think it was necessary to go in for a kind of sole sourcing?
Well, sole sourcing, also you
Don't explain, I'm just saying, don't you think it was necessary?
That's what I'm saying now. The company that's supposed to have that we should have used as sole sourcing, they said they will not be able to continue with it. Because you have to look at the performance. If you have to choose sole sourcing, look at the performance, whether this company...
You know why I'm asking? Listening to Bani, he said you started already at the magistrate courts, meaning that you are the provider at that sector, meaning you've done that procurement for that sector, and now you're expanding. So if I have somebody who's doing well at this sector and I need to expand, it beholds that you only say, okay, now we have somebody, and you have a cost already being paid. There is going to be a difference. I don't think by any scope of my imagination there will have been that much different that will not allow you to move, because this person is already providing these same services. So our concern basically is, give us the explanation and let's go just through the details, simple and straightforward. The project was not financed by the Judiciary. It was a project financed by the UNDP, and therefore they had the tag price already for their project. And because you are the supplier who was doing this project at this level, they thought expanding the project would ask for more money, whilst UNDP was not willing to spend more money. Is that the case? Okay, that's just what I wanted to know.
Have you answered? That's exactly the case, because we are expanding.
I think by leave of the committee, was there not a situation where you could have thought of counterpart funding to enhance or operationalize this migration from the magistrate to the other superior court of judicature in respect of the query?
Yeah, we consider that, and we request for counterpart funding, but to no avail. Even from the Ministry of Finance, we engage the Ministry of Finance at management level, even explaining to them we've been having these difficulties. Way back in 2010 at the Fast Track Commercial Court, we have funding from ICF. We set up a system, a case management system called Just Prayer Court. It was the first in Africa at the Fast Track Commercial Court. After setting it up there, the government of Rwanda even came to us to assist them with information about the case management system. After the funding, we are unable to get additional funding from government. After a series of meetings with government to continue to fund the case management system for the Fast Track Commercial Court to no avail.
So one more question. What happens with the funds UNDP provided? that was not sufficient to do the procurement.
Exactly. For the initially UNDP.
Yes, let the finance person talk to us, please. Yeah. Take the other line.
Cost examination.
Yes, this was not funding given Thank you, honorable members. This was not funding given to judiciary. It was actually a commitment by ENDP that you do the procurement and fund this particular thing. But because ENDP had their own timelines, as the honorable director said, because the procurement could not be completed within the time frame, and also because the amount bid for was above ENDP's threshold, so they had to withdraw the funding.
So let me ask a question. Is it that they withdrew their funding because you were negligent in implementing the project?
Well, we cannot say negligent because
it sounds so.
We cannot say negligent.
No, it sounds so. That's what I'm saying.
We actually try our best. The judiciary actually tried its best to do the procurement process, but we could not complete because there was only one bidder and the price was very high.
And were there any letters written to the Ministry of Finance or correspondence to show, okay, we have this person that is willing, UNDP is willing to sponsor us, and there is this difference, and you are asking like the Ministry of Finance to come in to enhance the process? Were there any correspondence?
We do not write any correspondence. Engagement was made, oral discussion, but as we all know, Ministry of Finance, the only
and you want us to believe
from what the budget and the budget that Parliament has approved.
Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me?
Yes.
You want us to believe that those oral conversations around this project took place?
Yes, they took place. Some engagement took place.
Because again, if I listen to you well, what Barney and the procurement officer were saying were a situation in which, because you could not meet your own obligation, now UNDP is willing to sponsor a bigger project that I'm sure has demands for more money than actually you were asking for.
Yes, definitely.
So meaning,
for the entire justice sector.
Meaning, I now have the attitude to say you were a bit careless in the implementation of the project, and therefore, because you could not meet your timelines, I rather prefer to sponsor somebody who is more serious, who is more willing, and who is more coordinated.
Well, we will not say careless. It's because there were not many people that needed for this.
So, can I ask a question now to the procurement officer? What was the difference between what UNDP was willing to pay and what the public service providers were asking for? What was the difference?
Well, we don't have that up here, but maybe the procurement can respond to that.
What was the difference?
This is a finance question. Yeah,
the bidder that is moving, we quoted way above 500.
500 what?
Million.
Leones or dollars?
It was what happened.
I want to know the
They submitted their bid price in 2.4 in USD and equivalent in leones.
Okay.
So they pegged it that way. They pegged that amount, they quoted in USD and then gave the equivalent in leones.
Okay.
And when we converted it, it's way above 500, and we had below 200 to 300.
Okay.
So that 200 difference made us not complete. So we called them, they were called to a meeting, including the master, the technical team, the court operations then, so that we'll be able to redefine the scope again. But at the end, they could not. So that was the reason why it was not resolved.
And these funds, let me just clear one thing. And these funds originally, UNDP asked the original software provider, IDT Labs, that we are doing the case management system at the magistrate court. With this funding, we have this funding, we want judiciary to progress to high courts and court of appeal with the same case management system. They refused. They said this amount is too small for them. These are the existing.
Were they informed for money?
Sorry?
How were they informed? How were they engaged?
Initially, it's UNDP that has this engagement with IDT Lab. They were paying them for the Justice app on behalf of Judiciary of Styling. The funds were not in our accounts for us to spend at the time. Because IDT Lab refused to go forward with the software, that's why Judiciary of Styling advertised to get a new bidder for the software. And the cost was, the new bidder cost was up, and IDT Lab
also did not participate. In addition to that, we all know that 2023 was actually economically unstable and the prices. So they had, when I took over, that was
How do we know that?
Let me understand.
How do we know 2023?
No,
What
what I'm
parameters
saying,
are you using to make that?
what I'm saying, the exchange rates increased. So they said their own
Can you, for the sake of this, you are live on Facebook and other media platforms. Can you withdraw that?
Okay, yes,
Thank you.
I think what taking them in line with the auditor's comment after the official response. I think one issue that is very material to the auditors was your failure to submit the evidence of the procurement during the COVID audit. Did you submit evidence of the procurement during the COVID audit? Because you explained that you had advertised, but you are unable to continue because of budget constraints and case media, and then you promised to have re-advertised. And then upon the review of all your responses, the auditors still said that you are unable to provide them evidence of the procurement documents. That is one. And again, the auditors also queried that they are unable to see some frantic actions on the side of the judiciary for you to explain. The post, okay. Let me just read this verbatim. It says there was no evidence of management action to acquire or develop a centralized and automated case management system for the judiciary. Based on what Vanis submitted, it appears that indeed it's a whole priority for the sector, right? For the judiciary. So if it indeed this particular issue was a priority, the auditors are now saying that during the course of your engagement with them, you are unable to provide the evidence of procurement, that is one, and two, you are also unable to provide them with justification indicating your willingness to make sure that you implement this particular service. Why is the status? Do you have all the procurement documents?
Yes, yes.
So they bring them?
They are there. They are available.
Including everything.
We in fact the newspapers, the JAR, when we tender, and then the evaluation documents, they are all available.
Did you submit them then because of the audit?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Did you submit during the course
Then because of the audit?
well, this specific one,
What?
it was not direct. It was directed. It was directed to the technical team.
Did you
So what?
submit?
It was directed to the technical team.
What do you mean by technical team?
The IT.
Huh?
The IT. This particular query.
No, I'm talking on the failure to submit the procurement document. That's not an IT related issue.
That's your office.
It's your issue.
Yeah,
Did
we
you
submitted
submit?
it.
Do you have evidence of the
newspapers.
submission?
I didn't come with it here now, but I'm in the office. They have newspaper adverts.
Remember that
all
you are on board,
NDP.
gentlemen.
Yes, I'm your name.
You submitted the BOQs and everything.
Yes, your name. Yes, your name. Everything is there. Even the evaluation document that we did, everything is available.
Did you submitted them to the auditors?
That's what it said.
During the course of the audit, did you submit these documents to the auditors?
This?
No.
Let him answer.
Did you submit the documents to the auditors at the time?
Now, what happened?
No,
It
it's
was
yes
not
or no.
for my
Did
end.
you-
It was not because.
Thank you, simple.
Yeah, it was not for my
You did
end.
not. And you also know not submitting those documents. And if you have to submit them now to Parliament, you're going to pay a fine for that.
Now,
No, do you know?
Honorable,
No, the question is, do you know?
this particular
No.
was
Do
not
you know-
directed to me
Wait.
specifically.
Do you know you're going to pay a fine if you're to submit them to Parliament?
Yes.
Okay, that's just what I wanted to know. If finance officer wanted to say something.
So what, because I was not there during the time, but currently,
But you were there.
yes, he was there. So currently, the auditors are in our office, they are auditing now. So we've submitted all of these documents to them. You know, they have cleared all of these
do not
issues.
refer us to the
And
system,
also,
correct? No, do not refer us.
and also the Ministry of Finance, the unit responsible from the Ministry of Finance to follow up on those audit issues, we've also submitted.
Nobody's
them to them.
listening to you. Wait. You answer when you're asked. Simple. The question is, is simple. You did not submit, and other auditing is going on, right? Yes. Any issue on this audit report could only be cleared here. So understand the procedures.
Thank you. For them, they brought up the document for follow-up. They normally do follow-up. It is part of their scope to follow up on the 2023 audit.
That is the process for the committee.
Okay.
Anyway, we have some more issues to go through. We still in this progress. We define 5,000 per document. For the submission of the document. So let's progress.
So we will need necessary regulation to prove what he just said, just in case you start thinking, how is the 5,000 about? There is a regulation that justifies that clearly.
It's only service.
Are the procurement documents available to you now?
We will submit them on the members after this session. Send them to the administrative team.
Members.
Give them the pin.
Progress.
Thank you, honorable members. 4.50.2 Non-submission of data for magistrate courts. The audit team requested data from the Justice app on judicial cases at the magistrate courts to evaluate progress in meeting the strategic objective of the Medium-Term National Development Plan 2023. The data were, however, not submitted, resulting in the lack of transparency about the number, type, status, and processing times of cases. This could undermine public trust in the judiciary's efficiency and fairness. We recommended that the Master and Registrar should submit the requested case data from the magistrate courts for verification. Official response. There were IT issues on the Justice app for magistrate courts during the audit period. The case data from the magistrate court is, however, available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. Data relating to cases in the judiciary were submitted for verification. The data did not include the dates cases were filed in the various magistrate courts, which would have enabled the audit team to determine the duration of the case and assess the effectiveness of the courts in the timely dispensation of justice. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
Yes. Are these data in automated form?
As the auditors rightly stated, we submitted the data to them. What they were requesting was additional information on what they want to see, like the initial date when a case is initiated at the magistrate court. At the time, we were unable to submit that one because the system was shut down by IDT Lab because of non-payment of recurring fee by UNDP at the time, as we want to get the new case management system.
So do you have them now?
The system is off. It's something you can generate on the system.
And the system is off. How long?
Sorry?
How long is the system off?
2023.
Today.
Yes. Because we are now working to get the centralized case management system.
So what is key about this data is to ascertain the effectiveness of your case management system. And data is very important. So they did not only ask for additional information, but key among those information is date to justify case A, when did it come? When was it dealt with? So I do not know the app or the structure of the system, but it has to be well laid out to capture all those key information. So why was the bulk of information given but dates left out?
All information. The information is set by rights. The Chief Justice have the highest rights, down to the judge, down to the principal magistrate who is in charge of a particular case file. So it's by rights. So the reports that were submitted, you see, the auditors acknowledge that we did submit reports to them. What they want to see, the questions they asked was, they want to measure the duration. For example, a matter filed at the magistrate's court, the duration for that matter till judgment from the date it was filed was 90 days, 120 days. That was exactly what it's provided in the report, okay? But the system was off. It's something that is simple to print out, okay? But I need the right, an external right, like the Chief Justice rights. On the Chief Justice page, you'll be able to see all those information they requested. But at the time, because of recurring fee, the system was off. That was the only reason. But all other information was provided for them, and then they acknowledged that in their reports.
I believe this system is very good because we need to make sure and fight very hard. And if you want our help, we can do so. For we are not just here to, claim our money, but at least to help you also get things or facilitate your problems. We have cases that are in court for over 9 years, 10 years. So if you have a system, it will help even the journalists to cry over, the cases that are taking so many years. And I'm sure it will help the country because there are pending cases in court. Trust me, I know personally it's over 11 years that I know about personally. I don't want to quote the name. So if we have this data, I think our journalists can get into these things and then denounce the judicial system in this country. So let's make sure if you need our help for you to have this system, we will do that. We're here to see your challenges as well and see how best we can help.
Thank you very much.
So through the chair, I was wondering. Yeah, quickly, Honorable Leone. Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me ask one question. Is magistrate court operating in the automated form as of now?
Before 2003, yes. After 2003.
I'm talking about the president.
Before 2023, yes. Well, now no.
Now it's not operating.
No.
So non-case management is presently done at automated form.
For now, no. We use Excel for now.
So, Secretariat, I want to request that you ask auditors to follow on this particular issue to find out whether the system is really off. If the system is down, then we can resolve this issue. But if not, the auditor will have to follow up and give all the feedback. Because we cannot ascertain anything as of now.
Normally, most of these systems have backup mechanisms.
It's recurring fees. Like I said, it's recurring fee. The recurring fee was not paid in 2003.
Yeah, but even if it was okay, but the initial data that had been stored and recorded should have been held by you, should have been backed up by you. You have paid for it already.
We can only access the data when the system is up. We have the backup data, of course, but you cannot open the backup data without the software. You can back up the data, we have the backup data, disable the backup data. Okay, so now if we have a new system, let's say we have a new case management system, we are going to take all this existing data, we are going to transfer. For any case management system that the judiciary is going to be part of, we should be able to export all the existing data that was saved in the cloud for the Justice app. We export them to the new system.
Are there plans or mechanisms put in place to reactivate this system?
We are working towards the centralized case management system, like I said. So that
Including the judiciary.
including the judiciary, yes.
I am a bit worried. I'm a bit worried. Now, you've been operating a system before now, and in 2020 that system was shut down, and there are what's no records, and you cannot withdraw some of those informations again if they are needed as they are now because they've not been paid for. So what's the amount to pay? Do you have an idea? What was the amount?
The recurring fee was 160,000. Millions at the time. That was the recurring fee, excluding maintenance cost.
And that was not paid from 2023.
It was a UNDP, like I said. It was a UNDP funded project. It was UNDP that was.
I agree. Thank you. Because
how would they have done that when even the initial?
In our 2023 budget, if you check back, we stated for case management. We even state for recurring fees. We state all these fees and then we request for the budget. But our budget was cut. The amount we requested for was cut down. The judiciary was unable to fund it, and we are looking forward to have this new case management system now. That is a centralized system.
If this centralized system will not come up until 2030, it will be so until 2030.
No, within the judiciary, we've been having a consultation with other case management system. Senate Energy in the United States traveled to Sierra Leone.
Wait. You're telling us of these new ones coming in, they will still not have a way of addressing the old problem that has been stopped in 2023. Not so?
No, in IT, you can export files. This existing system, it's an existing system, we have a backup files. Once we have a new system, there is a way of exporting them. So we export and then we continue. We export to the new system and then we continue. It's simple. We just export and then we continue. So now that we are going to lose all the records being saved from 2017, we've been using this case management system till 2023.
So for 130,000, say
160.
160, we are not able to get into the system.
Not like only just paying the recurring fee, okay, because we are looking forward to have a new case management system, like I said. Initially, we started this case management system with 20 courts as a piloted system.
You're sounding to me like, okay, now we're going to have a new system. Let's just abandon the old one.
Not at all.
That's how it sounds.
At the time.
Because you're explaining and your premises, you're landing on this. We're having a new system coming on. So because you don't get one new, maybe now the old one back in post.
No, because UNDP is providing the funds, and then we are negotiating with IDT Lab, the company that was doing the Justice App system. Because UNDP
and it was the same UNDP that is supposed to pay this 160, not so?
Yes, it was.
And they have not paid for the 160, but they are now going for a bigger project. Again, I am constrained to think maybe you've not managed the system well, and UNDP is abandoning the project.
The system is not being abandoned. UNDP is funding different justice sector partners. So now they hire the consultants. Part of the consultants' recommendation. I also work with the consultants.
It's to bring everything together.
It's to bring everything together. So I was fortunate, honorable.
Wait. Do you have an idea if they've also abandoned the other project they started with the other justice sector players? Or is it just your own they've abandoned?
I will not talk about the other institutions.
No, that's why I'm saying, do you have an idea on that?
I know for correctional center, before now, we have linkage between our system. It's not working right now.
Their own is not working?
Yes, because we're now looking forward to have a centralized case management system. Other jurisdiction beyond Sierra Leone, that's what is going on. You have a centralized case management system, which help. Imagine you go to the police station and then you initiate a case and then you have that case number. With the centralized case management system, you have that one case number. A police officer investigates a case file at the police station with one case file number. That matter is being prosecuted in court, is being charged to court with the same case file number. And then the suspects now accused, they are now convicted and sent to the correctional center. Down the road, 2 years down the road, the same officer will query the system with that same case file number and be able to know whether that accused person is still behind bars or not. It's a centralized case management system. I was fortunate to work at the Judiciary of Rwanda, and then we have a centralized case management system in Rwanda. It's the same kind of system. It's working perfectly in Rwanda, the centralized system, where all the justice sector, they all come together and then they have one system.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Let's imagine the system is put in place and it's running, and you have to be paying recurring fees every other year, and UNDP did not continue after 5 years. What happened in your imagination?
The current support is not only from UNDP. The Honorable Minister of Justice is getting support from various institutions, including the government of Sierra Leone. So this one is the government of Sierra Leone
own project. Okay,
exactly.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, for the new project you're expecting, what mechanism have you put in place to make sure that you own the process after the intervention of donor?
It will not be owned by the judiciary as an institution, but by the Ministry of Justice, which is the umbrella institution for the entire justice sector.
So, are you making collaborative effort to make sure that the judiciary?
We've done lots and lots of consultative meetings with the ministry. We have scheduled working team. We have representatives from the judiciary, so that's connecting. We are doing progress. It will be a beautiful system in the future for justice.
I requested that the auditors need to follow up on these issues to get feedback, to get up by the feedback. Without wasting much time, I want us to review them and move to the next item.
Thank you very much, honorable members. 4.50.3, lack of monitoring and evaluation system. The judiciary lacked a monitoring and evaluation system or unit, thus impacting the effective and efficient management of the court. Implementing a reliable M&E system would help identify and address inefficiencies and as well as improve the administration of justice. The lack of a monitoring and evaluation system could lead to delays in the dispensation of justice. We recommended that the Master and Registrar should work with relevant authorities to establish a robust M&E system to enhance court management processes and boost public confidence in the judicial system. Official response. The Master and Registrar is seeking approval from the Ministry of Finance for the recruitment of monitoring and evaluation officers, among others. All documents related to that process are available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. There was no documentary evidence of communication with the Ministry of Finance relating to the transfer or procurement or recruitment of M&E officers or the establishment of an M&E unit. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
Yes, do you have M&E departments in your sector? No wonder most times when judges or magistrates are transferred, the cases in Dublin remain there. This is a very serious problem. I'm getting complaints almost every week. People have cases in court, maybe on the verge of judgment, the transfer coming for judge or magistrate. That case, to recall, is going to be another serious problem. How are you going to make sure that those cases are presided over? What mechanism do you have in place?
Before now, when I used to be a magistrate, yes, I was a magistrate in a number of places. I was in Leone and some other places to say that you cannot to say now you cannot track them in those cases. That's not the situation.
But the cases are there. But when the new magistrate go or when the new judges go, they look at fresh cases. So the cases that were about to be concluded will be there adamant. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's not the experience I've had.
I have a lot of complaints. I can produce the evidence if you want me to prove.
that's not the situation I've experienced and I've had. The situation is this: when you are about to be transferred, if you have concluded a matter already, we take the file along, write the judgment, we send back the judgment to the sitting magistrate that has placed you to give that judgment out. Or we are about, my matter is about to be concluded, the handwriting is legible, the magistrate will continue from where he stopped. If it's not, we have an typist who will type that note and hand it over to the magistrate or the judge. And thereafter, he can form an opinion, proceed with the matter and write a judgment. That's what occurs.
Okay.
Maybe after the sitting, I'll get you a number. When I get you, I'll give you cases that are of that nature.
Then also, there was a magistrate in Kailam where I come from. This case has been in court for over 7 years. And when coming here, he's in Panema Road. I met him there and he was very, very, sure of himself. He brought the business, the case here. And I have kept on telling him, please do something. You cannot leave Kailam. People are behind Kailam near Liberia. And you expect them to come here. You see how wicked this was. Yes. It's not right. So what the chairman is talking is right. They will come with the cases, they won't decide on it, and then you keep on going to court on and off like that. Let's face facts and make a different decision.
This information is key in your department. It's very, very key. But nobody seems wanting to ensure that the cases are presented over within the stipulated time. It's just in the hands of the judges or magistrates to decide when to sit on a particular case. Sometimes they can keep on adjoining cases, and that is unfair, especially with the poor peasant people. When people are poor, they pay transport, they come to us on the cases. Judge is not here, magistrates travel. That is the problem. Most of the judges we have upline, they are residing, their family is over here. So every weekend they come, Saturday they don't go on Monday. So there are a lot of cases like that in provinces. So you need to get an MRI sector so that they will monitor to make sure that the cases are presented within the stipulated time. Otherwise, it's a problem.
We're about to put one with the approval of the Ministry of Finance. We're about to put one to set up that department.
Yes, so that's why I wanted to ask. So
This was from 20.
This was from 2023. It's the same response you gave to the auditors. You said you are engaging or you are seeking approval. And the auditors in turn said that you are able to provide even documents evidence to claim that you are making any effort to recruit money.
Yes, the challenge there is to also get the concurrent.
Do you have your manpower plan there for 2023? Do you have that? 2023, do you have that? Just from 2023 to date, you must have recruited other staff. That one is, I'm not sure you can go through that. And if the M&E was really an important component, with the whole judiciary is quite big. And considering the importance of M&E unit, I'm sure this one was long supposed to have been prioritized. So do you have your HR plan?
We can make it available, but we don't have it here.
We can make it available. The 2022 and 2023.
Yes.
That include the recruitment of the M&E officer. Do you have that?
So what?
No, answer.
Yes.
We can make the 2023 manpower.
Manpower.
Yes, plan available.
2023. Okay, can you say 2023?
2023,
yes.
2023, I can make it available.
You have it.
So off record. Did you include the recruitment of M&E?
Well, off the top of my head, I can't see.
You can't see. As important as this one, what did you ever brought to your attention?
But I was just I just saw the audit query now. So
how long have you been in this?
Since since 2020.
So who responded to this query? The board, please. Okay, that's to recruitment. And recruitment should first of all, the need for staffing should come from you. So how did they even face how did they even come to the conclusion that they should request the Minister of Finance for approval for recruitment without even getting the source documents from your manpower plan?
Usually, when the audit query comes, it goes directly to the master's office. And if there is an issue for HR, they'll ask me for information and then I provide information.
So is this issue, don't you think that it has to do with HR? It has to do with recruitment?
Yes, it has to do with it. That's why I said I have the manpower for 2023. I can make that happen.
This you're saying this query for the first time.
For the MIP, yes.
You say it for the first time.
Yes.
And you're saying as you're saying it now, you have the documentations already in the office.
I have the manpower for 2023. That's why I said off the top of my head, I cannot tell you yes that
So
included.
Am I free to say you've not been too effective with your work, and that's why you've not been referred to?
I am effective. What I'm saying is for the MIP, I cannot ascertain that we included it in 2020.
So from 2020.
But for 2024.
So from 2023, from 2020, let's go back to 2020 because you've been there from 2020.
Yes.
From 2020 to 2025, how many recruitments have you done in different areas? Can you tell us? And you don't think the M&A was that important?
It is included in 2024 manpower.
That is after it was raised.
Yes.
So meaning.
So for 2023, I cannot ascertain.
So meaning, clearly. You never made provision for the M&A in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 until it was picked up.
Yeah, because the other manpower budgets did not include
So are you saying the M&A office was not important for the judiciary?
It is important, but it was not included. And usually
You employ court registrars, so they were important to you. But the M&E were not important.
The M&E usually it's under the master and registrar office, and prior to the audit, the court operations manager assumed that role. So she was in charge of the M&E doing project, writing reports. She was doing that. But we do not have a designated M&E position.
Okay, so, yes.
So when the audit was...
So the response, we have two deputies here, I think.
Yes, yes.
Can they respond to this? And in the query, the master and the registrar responded that there were processes to recruit the M&E officer, for which the auditor said he did not receive any document on that process you submitted that was available. How did that happen? The query is there any to the official response?
Yes, let me respond to this because the two deputy masters are not too often the office as they are new. So as the liaison officer, the accountant being the liaison officer on audit matters, what I realized was that the cadre for the M&E officers is not in our current establishment. In the manpower plan, it was not in our current as of 2024, yes. So when the
2023,
2023, no, it was not there as of 2023. So when the auditors raised the issue, so in our 2024 manpower plan, we included in our establishment to request from the HMO for the establishment of that particular cadre. So we sent it to HMO, but there were no approval because they did not add further approvals. So now again for 2026, we're going to do the same thing and actually try to raise
Can I take you on this?
Yes.
I know every year Ministry of Finance is making provisions for ministry agencies and departments on recruitment. And it's you, left with you now to say, okay, for the next 2-3 years, this is what we want to recruit. And if you reach your limit, because we have that even in Parliament now, there are people who are, we still think that they are important to recruit, but we've reached our threshold of recruitment, and therefore they cannot allow us to recruit. Is that the same situation with the judiciary?
No, for the M&A, this one was not part of the establishment. The data was not part of the establishment. So it is a new thing that we are trying to introduce into our data. So when we get
so how is it that you don't have M&A? How is it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the judiciary did not see it necessary as at the auditor's meeting. So now we are making efforts.
So do you think there is any reason why the auditors think it's important for you to have an M&A?
Yes, it is important actually because it's not because the auditors raise it, but it is important.
No, you never knew it was important.
Yeah.
So I want to know now, why do you think the auditors brought in?
Yeah, because it is important. It is very important. So,
and you know, some of the things that are here now as queries would have better been addressed if you had an M&A. So if the Ministry of Finance did not give you the go-ahead for the next 5 years, it means for the next 5 years you're not going to have any money.
So what the current Chief Justice has done is he has appointed a committee of judges who superintend over some of these issues. Like they have a particular one that monitor the cases of judges and also magistrates. They have those in charge of magistrates.
That does not still suffice the role of an M&A.
No, well, I wouldn't say for the next 2-3 years. Because
you have internal auditors? Do you have internal auditors?
Yes, we have internal auditors. Okay. We have internal auditors. So we are going to lay emphasis on this during our next manpower.
So my question is still, if it is not done, if it's not approved for the next 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, what happened? Because this is 2025, the way it was in 2023, and up to 2025, we still have the constraint of not having money.
We are working, we are making practice.
No, in case it does not happen for the next 2 years.
We believe that it will happen.
No, we want you to make some commitments.
So is it not a situation where you say, okay, we have a lot of staffs, now that we cannot have one person, nobody has been recruited, we can have a particular designated staff with the same qualification to at least act as M&A. Is that what's the consideration?
That was exactly what we were discussing. That you need to have an idea of research to be acting that's the senior qualification. We just discussed that myself.
So that would have been the frantic answer. That in as much as we're waiting for the Ministry of Finance to give us the nod, but meanwhile because I know you have many people who are qualified within the judiciary who can handle that situation. Gone are those days when you just think the judiciary is just full of court clerks. I know even some court clerks now that are lawyers. And I know lawyers who have studied other professions before coming to the judiciary. So it is good that we don't create gaps when they are necessary to work within our offices. We look out for appropriate replacements to have a kind of acting who will be there to ensure. Because these are best practices all over the world. You know, I know many people don't want internal auditors and M&A officers because they checkmate the excesses of what they do, and they force them to implement things as they are being written. So therefore, when you don't have them on a normal day, you're like comfortable. But let's create the inconveniences to get things done well. So for me, I would advise that in as much as the Minister of Finance haven't given you the nod to go ahead and do this, when you have a kind of tentative arrangement, first of all, for the office to operate, and after which, when you have an official recruitment, now that person is going to come in as an official person. Maybe even if the person you have is doing the work well, he or she can still apply the vacancy when it is advertised. So you have somebody who is skilled, somebody who is an internal player, and who can do the work better. The man behind is looking at me. I am sure they will not appoint you.
Thank you. I think that's just a confirmation of what we discussed.
I want to request you make available the manpower manual for 2023 to date, and maybe with the correspondences you have with Ministry of Finance regarding employment of the MIE. So make that draw to Secretary. Yes, Director. Progress. Please, Secretary, request for those documents that are requested.
Thank you. 4.5 0.4. Withholding taxes not paid to the NRA. Withholding taxes totaling NLE 259,546.73 were deducted from the Judiciary's impressed account and the UNDP support to the Rule of Law project account. However, no evidence of these payments to the National Revenue Authority was provided for audit inspection. Non-payment of withholding taxes may deprive government of much needed funds to meet its obligations as and when they fall due. We recommended that the principal accountant should ensure the payment of these taxes to the NRA and submit the paying slip and NRA receipt to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Official response. The Judiciary will, however, pay all the withholding tax deducted amounting to NLE 259,546.73 for the period under review. Delay in disbursement to the Judiciary accounts from the Government of Sierra Leone are some of the challenges. Evidence of payment of withholding tax is available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. Supporting documents for withholding taxes which amounted to NLE 259,546.73 were not submitted to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
So, what is the status of withholding tax?
Yes, but at the time of the audit verification, payment was not made, but that has been paid now.
Why was it not paid?
Because funds we are not received from the Ministry of Finance and the application ended.
Funds for withholding tax.
Yes.
This is money he deducts from people's salary or from people's service provider.
Yes, from service providers, not from salaries. From
Subside provider.
Yes, so what we normally do, because payment is being done by check or direct cash transfer from the bank, so we accumulate the withholding tax and pay on a quarterly basis. But for 2023, I think the problem was because of the delay in the disbursement of funds, so we cannot pay this amount.
Before you pay service provider, you should have deducted the withholding tax.
Yes, we deduct the withholding tax, but we don't.
Why was it not paid?
We don't pay directly to the NIA because we try to reduce the documentation process. Because some withholding tax can be as low as 50 euros, 20 euros, something like that. So we have to accumulate it to certain amount. Because we need to obtain this receipt from NIA, you have to get the payment by transfer to NIA account. So we have to have the payment advice from the Bank of Nigeria. So we write to the NIA for the receipt, for the NIA receipt, attaching the payment advice. So only then we have to do it. So in order to reduce the number of transactions on the tax relief, we accumulate over a period of like 1 quarter on the quarterly basis, then we pay amount.
Yes. And what I want to say about this is that why did you explain this to the auditors? But it should have been written here. The beautiful explanation or excuses you are given should have said that to the auditor. It should have been here. That could have actually cleared you from all these things.
Yes.
But you are now telling us today this bundles of explanations. I don't think. For not actually presenting those excuses and the hard copies, I think they should be fine. And I leave it to the chairman to say that.
Yes,
yeah, before we proceed, can I see the evidence of payment? we'll look at them, we'll forward them to audit for verification. We cannot ascertain. The auditors are presently engaged 2025 or 2024.
We've also done that. We've also forwarded to the audit service, send it to them. We've also sent to Ministry of Finance, the internal audit unit responsible for this work. We've also sent it to them.
Because we are dealing with the judiciary, and in terms of people who we expect to respect the laws that we pass here, there are many institutions that has to be the judiciary. You are not just any MD, you are an arm of government, which makes you different from other MDs of government. And, I find it very disturbing that you said you are paying on a quarterly basis. I'm sure you should be aware of the Income Tax Act, right? When are you supposed to make? When are you supposed to file your returns? When are you supposed to pay all taxes?
It's 15 days.
It's 15 days a quarter. It's 15 days a quarter. So why do you have to wait for the end of a quarter? And even your submission that you have to withhold the tax sum at 20, there's no withholding tax, it is 20 days. No. Because even in 2023, the threshold for taxable income at least was around 600,000. So if you say 5.5% of 600, it cannot be 20. You know it, right? And there is no way you cannot tell me, because most of this, based on your even I've just seen the list, most of the transactions in question that are related to this one, most of them are way above the so-called 20 that you wanted to present that we can believe. The fact is, we don't tax for part of the contract price. If you are able to pay the contractors or the service provider, you should be able to pay the taxes, because these are not monies from you. These are monies that are already borne by the service providers. And I know here, these two should be able to track how much they are paying, to government. It falls part of their records with NRA. So if you are unable to make payments on their behalf on a timely basis, you are not only disturbing government, but you're also affecting the doing business of the service providers. And even when you check even what you submitted, what the auditor's query was 259,000. You only paid 242,000.
Yes.
We still have something like 1,700.
Yes, you can see the computation is attached to the
So which one should we believe, your computation or the auditor's computation?
Because the auditors have limited time to their audit. So
Is that what you're saying?
So the error may have been on their own part. So after having done due reconciliation, actually determined that is.
You did the reconciliation too.
Where from our payment, from the payment we contract.
After the audit exercise had already ended. So why did you fail to reconcile with the auditor then because of the audit? If you're indicting the auditors, we won't accept this one.
No, I'm not indicting
because the responsibility for the reconciliation was on you. You should have done the reconciliation because of the audit.
So
is it because the auditors are not here?
No, it's not because
we cannot use all this without the auditor, because even if you are not submitting, you would have to tender it to them. So if you tender this submission with an indictment, trust me, they won't be very good with you.
I will not say that. I will not say that.
That they were unable to do their job properly.
When they came for this 2024 audit, they requested for this information because, as I earlier mentioned, they normally follow up on the 2023 on the previous year's audit. So I brought this to their knowledge that this is our reconciliation. So it could be to look at. Actually, they agree with that. This is the background.
You submitted a document.
Yes.
But you know you flouted the laws.
Yes, definitely.
And you know it's not good for doing business. And sometimes we ask these questions for certain things not to repeat themselves. When you deprive government from timely funds, it means you're also depriving the government from timely expenditure. Because if you have to hold the monies to be paid within 2023, you have to pay them now in 2025, 2024, as the case may be. It means the whole of the year projection of government income has been stagnated by you. So imagine if every institution is doing the same. How do you think government will meet a much more needed revenue to address the issue of feeds alone, the education, the health, and even to give you your allocations? If you study the 2023 budget, you understand that almost 70 to 80% of government institutions did not pay withholding taxes. And the same institution are saying, oh, government is not giving us our allocations. How do I give if I'm not able to get? So we are going to tighten some of these laws in this Finance Act and make them more punitive to ensure people comply with the regulations of paying their withholding taxes. Or else there will come a time we'll have to go back to those days when even government has to struggle to pay salaries. And it's not good for doing business. We run a state, and state institutions must ensure they enforce the law. It is painful to say even the judiciary will not obey the law. It becomes troublesome to listen to. Say even the judiciary, and I'm afraid the journalists will not put that tomorrow as a caption headline. And the judiciary did not follow the laws, and that's very painful. So let's do due diligence to our service as a nation and ensure we meet the deadlines. We've paid now, but it should not repeat itself.
This will not show you because we make sure we pay our withholding tax within the year, within the tax period, every bit of it. So these issues will not come again. Form of assurance.
So, Chair, the only thing we have to consider to the what they have submitted being admissible. The very act I clarified it, which is income tax. You know what it entails when you fail to pay within the stipulated time. What happens? You have to find yourself. So if you fail to pay within the stipulated time, what happens?
The responsible person should have to pay.
The what?
Or yes, pay with penalty.
The penalty of what? Because we're going to charge it now. Because we have to extend the law. We should be law effectors and not law affectors. We don't want to affect the laws.
Well, I will crave on the.
Especially so when we are dealing with the judiciary.
I will crave on the indulgence of honorable members to actually legislate.
Is that what happens in court?
So definitely.
People just go and get the crave on the indulgence outside the law.
When people can plead guilty and
when you plead guilty,
yeah,
then you know what happens. So now find you. That's it. So that was the law says.
When you are found guilty, there is inhibition.
Yeah. So
After that, you're left to the master of the court.
So you're now at our master.
So that's why.
So you now find you or not. Yeah. And the law is very clear. It's 2.5 or so. So 2.5 of the amount owed. And you are unable to pay it. So apart from the 1,700,000, which is already playing, and that one can be ascertained or can be confirmed better with auditors. So they are not here going to they are here. We are requested for them to give us the schedule of their audit. They shall take that in tandem with what you have submitted. Then even the late submission is another issue. You already have 2 offenses in Angola that you are culpable of. One is late submission. If you fail to submit, then because of the audit is 5,000 per document. Thank God they submitted a lot of leaves. So if you start to count them 5,000, huh? That's what the law says.
So as the court
we're talking about close to how many pages?
There are many.
Yeah. So as many as the pages are, so we are going to compute the 5,000
so
per page.
Will do on
That's clear the findings. That's clear.
Caution and discharge.
Do you want me to make this reference to the Audit Service Act? I'm sure you should have your
No, we are.
Of 5,000, right?
Yes.
That is one. Also, when you delay to pay tax beyond the due date, you pay what? A fine as well. So should we complete all of it and Chair, I think we have to do the competition and then we'll communicate to the judiciary accordingly.
Yeah, do the competition.
Yes, so we'll revert to you as to whether we should do a trial litigation vetted by the deputy minister. Is that called? Fully litigation. Okay. This is hearing litigation. We're going to see whether we'll be hearing litigation or. So the fact that they paid them for today is commendable as well.
The auditors will verify that one.
240.
So, Director, progress.
It's partially resolved, right?
Partially resolved because of this.
Very powerful. And then we definitely
4.50.5 Revenue collected not banked. We observe that the law courts at Pademba Road and Westwood Magistrate Courts collected a total of NLE 27259 in non-tax revenue, which could not be traced in the sub-treasury account at the Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, SLCB. Furthermore, the Waterloo Magistrate Court deposited non-tax revenue totaling NLE 42300 into the ECOWAS levy treasury account at the United Bank for Africa, UBA, instead of the designated SLCB account. The amount was, however, not traced in the bank statement. This is a risk that the revenue collected could not be used for its intended purpose. We recommended that the Master and Registrar should collaborate with the Commissioner of Non-Tax Revenue to investigate and provide evidence to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. If unresolved, responsible parties should refund NLE 69559 into the consolidated fund and submit evidence of payment to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Official response. With reference to the amount of NLE 42713 and NLE 42300, bank slips, audit, credit advice, and bank statements have been made available for verification. Auditor's comment. Bank slips, credit advices, and bank.
Yes, why is that? Why was money collected not put to their booking accounts?
So, honorable members, I think this is reconciliation issue with NRA because revenue actually is being collected by NRA officers stationed in our courts. So, we engaged with them. Their explanation was that some of this money they are paid through the mobile app. Because now you have the guys who pay through the mobile app. So then they have to generate the report from that system. So I think the difference here is the case of actually was collected by them as revenue and back was paid through the mobile app. So we are now collaborating with them to reconcile on the daily basis to such issues.
So what's the status of this money in play? Of this money, particular money?
We still have not been able to return with NIA because
it's a matter of surcharging. If you cannot do a trace it, go to surcharge.
Because the judiciary actually does not collect the revenue. It is not the judiciary's responsibility. I think such way is also as normally the chair directed to the NIA as well.
Did you listen to the recommendation of the audit tools? What did they say? Say there should be a kind of committee set to investigate the matter and start being done. You can't tell.
I don't think that has been done.
Okay. And don't you see it as negligence on your part? Because the recommendations are clear. I am sure. Yes, I am sure the auditors were sure and certain that your hands are not on the cash. Therefore, it's because it's another party handling that part of your responsibility, which is the NIA. All you ought to have done was to have a committee to investigate to ensure the money is being paid. You understand, was done and the process was done. And they went forward to say if it is the investigation is not clear, the people responsible should refund the money. So meaning if you've not done anything, you've like collaborated with people to steal from the state.
So what we'll do going forward is to...
Don't tell me what you will do going forward. Tell us what is here now.
Yeah,
have you done that?
I'm saying what we'll do going forward.
Have you done the investigation as the judiciary?
Yes, we've engaged the NRA.
Wait. I listened well. First you said no. Now you say yes. So which one?
No, I mentioned that in my explanation. I said we engaged the NRA officers.
Has a committee been formed?
No, the committee has been formed.
Has the master and registrar taken any actions for these monies to be paid?
Yes.
Okay.
The master registrar has taken action by engaging the NIA officer resident within the judiciary to actually produce.
How many courts are we talking about?
We have according to the audit, right?
Three. Ross Road, Palembo Road, and Waterloo. In fact, in the case of Waterloo, they're saying the monies were actually paid into an account that is not the designated account. So what have you done on that?
We write also to NIA actually provide.
You're going to write or you've written?
We engaged
from 2024 and it's now 2025 and
it was an oral engagement like trying to clear on the NIA.
Wait. Let me get this clear. An action has been taken on behalf of your institution that has the tendency to derail the integrity of your institution. And for 2 years, you cannot act on it. And you're telling us now you're going to act now. This was done by NIA officers, but it was not recorded under the audit report of the NIA. It was recorded under your audit report as judiciary. And fully, you know it is not your actions. And for 2 good years, nothing has been done. And you're so okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that. All of these things are inherited issues that we are trying to...
You inherited them from when?
From July 20.
When did you come into this office?
Last year, July.
Last year, July.
I actually took over in August.
So since I was not in office, I was not in post. It doesn't concern me. Is that the mentality?
No, that's not the mentality. That's why I'm actually taking full responsibility.
So have you written? So why for it's almost 2 years now? You are almost 2 years in the office, and you did not fulfill the auditor conditions.
1 year.
Who is the internal auditor?
The internal auditors are
and he's not here. And you did not bring it. You think it was not important?
So it's important.
So okay, you're saying he was informed, but he thought Parliament was not important.
No.
So why is he not here?
Well, we do not contact him this morning. We don't know.
So it was negligent on your part. Do you want to accept responsibility of him not coming?
Yeah, we take responsibility.
So you were saying
notwithstanding their inherited issues, we are trying to address. We are actually address all of these issues.
But the effort is not seen.
What we do now is to put on paper to write to NIA because we engage in issues like engaging by the instructions of the master engaging the NIA because he is responsible. Some of the explanations he gave those are very transparent. That some of these payments we are made through the because
do you bother to ask for confirmations of these payments from the internal NRA staff that is with you?
Yes, we asked. I asked.
Starting from when?
And he said, he doesn't have hands on the concerning data, especially those that we pay through the mobile app, because we have access to that. We only have access to the money that are paid to the bank, and we bring the bank statement from you.
So meaning for your own case, technology is a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges we face.
So the people pay on behalf to enter on your behalf, and you don't have access to those records.
So what we are now requiring as
no, don't tell me what you're requiring now.
Okay, what is happening now is when people make the payment, whether through my app or through bank transfer, they have to bring the copy of the receipt and send to the judiciary. So we can keep our own record.
Starting when?
Starting last year.
Starting yesterday. So meaning you have enough evidence. You have enough evidence of payments now.
Yes.
So the only thing you have to do this way is to ask to write to the NRA for proper accountability and to ensure
yes.
To resolve this one. Okay.
Honorable members, I think let's give them an ultimatum because they've had almost over 2 years to resolve this problem. And when they're here, I think we don't waste time any longer. We give them a date, specific date when this thing should be resolved, and we will resolve back to us. Chairman, I think that is my own submission.
What can we decide on this particular issue? This money cannot be traced. You need to convince us that you trace it. But it can be traced. The explanation is not enough to justify.
Yes, because we are also limited in having access to some of this information because it is in the possession of NRA because they collect the revenue. They are actually the people collecting.
Do you do daily reconciliation?
Yes, we are doing it now. Yes, we are doing it.
So if you are doing it, why should I miss you?
Now.
Before now,
no reconciliation.
Before this audit, I don't think that.
You know why your reason or your excuse that you are not imposed when this transaction occurred? Why? The fact that we are in office when this audit report was released or published, and it's clear as per the recommendations of the auditor as to what the office was supposed to do. You have the laws. I don't know whether it can be, whether vicarious liabilities is adequate enough to be used there. But by virtue of your office, you cannot escape out of it because you take responsibility of there's no vacuum here. And the laws are also clear when you look at the audit regulations of 2024 and even the Results Act. Failure to implement audit recommendation is in itself something very, very serious. You are not asked to repay at first instance. What you are asked to do as an office was to institute an investigation. Simple as that. When did you institute that? And then it took you almost 2 years from 2024, last year when the report was published. To date, no action has been done.
Also,
because what? Do you have an excuse for failing to implement audit recommendation?
Because a lot of changes has happened in terms of administration.
So you should fail. No. If you are given reasons that are not tenable, trust me, we're going to invoke necessary laws because the laws are clear as to what happens when an institution or when an audit fails to implement an audit recommendation. You're talking about revenue here. It's huge sums. When you collect money, you have to pay it to the consolidated revenue fund or to a designated account as approved by the accountant general. So it's very key. So if you fail to, that's why the auditors, they have not clearly indicted or accused you of any misappropriation. Because they realized that there were some miscalculation which you said because based on the condition errors or whatsoever, they said, okay, carry on and reconciliation. And decided if reconciliation can be done even for transactions that have occurred long ago. actions you are supposed to have been taken by you. It's not just about going forward. We have a pending matter that also impairs on the integrity of an institution that is supposed to be highly respected. When people are indicted of corruption, they go to it's only the courts that can vindicate or try an indictee. So in other words, you must come to justice with clean hands. We expect the best of standards from you.
Yes, honorable member. I think this should not be an indictment.
No, it has to.
What the judiciary has failed to do is to institute an investigation.
That's what I'm saying.
Recommended by the auditor.
That is why.
In this case, the revenue was actually being collected by NIA. So
what
usually don't. So that's what I'm saying. It's because there has been some changes in administration. New people are coming in and others are going out. So
good enough. You are
going
a
to do it. We're going to actually lay emphasis on this particular and trying to resolve this one. We're going to do that now.
And it was time.
Yes, I remember I cannot give you timeline because it depends on how soon we can get this issue.
No, wait.
We write to them.
You can give us timelines on when you're going to give the letter, because the initiator of this whole thing should come from you. The audit is about you, and the audit it has hit on your integrity as an institution. So you need to write the letter. You understand? Initiating, because the truth is something you don't understand. And some of these finances we're playing with, when we don't get them at all, we just ask the accountant general to take them direct from your salary. Do you know that?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
From the salary of the responsible person by them,
No, from the salary of the person who failed to take action.
To take action on the resource acquisition.
So that's the extent of the damage. So it's not just you. It's not just you.
So
every other person that is online to take action.
This week before Friday, the letter will be taken. That is within our control. How soon we get a response from them?
No, well, how soon you ask for? You just don't write the letter and go and do it. You'll be asking for.
Definitely, we'll make follow up.
Thank you.
Yes.
So by Friday, the letter will have gone to NRA.
Yes. Yes.
We're not only the letter. We are interested in the money. You are requesting for Friday. I will give you up to Wednesday. If we cannot have evidence of payment, I will instruct the secretariat to write to an accountant.
Maybe by then we will not be able to receive response from NIA because they correct.
Now we want you to double your effort to make sure you have the response because you waited so long.
I know if you write the letter and CJ is well briefed on this, they will do the necessary because it involves some aspects of corruption. Somebody is collecting money on behalf of the judiciary and is not paying the money in the right channel under the name of this current judiciary. And the truth is that there is a mistake you're making. It was paid when you are not in post and when this CJ was not the CJ then. That sounds as an excuse for you. But what does not sound as an excuse? The action to be taken, the recommendations of the audit report are to be taken by this CJ and your very office to save the image of the institution. And we only don't rely on the person who has done the wrong, but also the person who has not taken action. So we're saying it's not the whole of NRA that was involved in this. There is a person in post. Let him do the due diligence within 1 week, or else we'll be left with no option but to take the money from your salary. It sounds so sweet, eh?
We'll do that. We'll write to NIA and we'll teach them for us so they can give us information on this because they have the constitutional right to collect it.
And you have the constitutional right also to do daily consultation with them. So engage them so that you do reconciliation on the transactions in question.
So how often do you reconcile with NIA officers?
Now we are doing it on the daily basis.
Augustine.
No, before now.
Before now, I was not thinking.
Augustine, take his name and pin code. Afterwards, it may not be able to to Accountant General.
I was not in office when these issues, these are all inherited issues. I'm taking responsibility because I'm here. So that's why I'm taking action. Yes.
When action? Now December. So that day.
I'll take
Take his progress. When is it? When is it? The court will take from you.
No, make it.
The full number. I mean, okay. Progress.
The power we will come to pass judgment, as it pleases the chairman, without any adjournment or even.
No, let him provide information. All right, Director.
Otherwise, if you will stay.
Honorable members, 4.50.6 fees charged not in accordance with the Finance Act. We observe that the fees charged for services such as court orders, affidavits, writ of summons, and notices of motion are inconsistent with the schedule of fees outlined in the Finance Act 2021. The judiciary was evidently charging clients higher fees for services provided, which contradicts the specified schedule of the fees in the Finance Act 2021. Charging fees above the stipulated amount increases reputational risk. We recommended that the Master and Registrar, along with relevant stakeholders, should develop and publicly display a service charter aligned with the Finance Act for clarity and transparency. Official response. Judiciary will ensure that the service charter, which is in line with the Finance Act, is displayed to the public, but the judiciary will start displaying it on all notice boards and registries. Auditor's comment. During the verification exercise, there was no evidence of a service charter being developed and publicly displayed, or fees for court services being displayed on notice boards in the judiciary. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
So, what is the status of the service charter? Have you started displaying them?
The fees are displayed in all public places, all the courts, they are displayed on notice boards all over the courts. And once you go to court, you know the fees charged for affidavit in opposition, affidavit in support, motion, summons, or writ of summons, as the case may be, relating summons, they are displayed there. We've done that already. And in line with the Finance Act.
The chairman.
No, I disagree. Because do you want to tell us that our auditor is lying to us?
We are saying after we've taken
action.
We've taken
Now
action.
taking actions.
Yes.
Did you take pictures? Do you have evidences there? Like pictures, to convince us?
No, we will not take pictures, but if you just walk into the court, you see it's displayed in all the courts.
But before this, why are you overcharging? If at all.
Well, that's not to my knowledge.
Okay, honorable members.
This matter can be properly handled when we have the auditors. Because the auditors have said, yes, exactly. The auditors have said that the judiciary have charged fees not in accordance with the Finance Act. So it is but fitting that we request the schedules from the auditors to indicate the specific fees charged that are outside the Finance Act. Then we can now take that in tandem to properly be able to deal with this issue.
Do you have a website?
Well, if we have a service charter,
Is it on your website?
so we can keep this matter to the part of the follow. Let this matter the part of the follow.
Okay, let's keep this in view, but provide us the schedules.
Mr. Chairman,
If there is a chat and you have a website, then they do. Okay.
All right. We still clean on this until auditors are here to give us the schedule. So let's go to the last item.
Honorable members, 4.50.7 revenue returns not submitted for inspection. We observe that the Registrar of the High Courts, Criminal Registry, and the Registrar of the Court of Appeals Registry failed to submit revenue returns for the period under review. Consequently, we were unable to ascertain the revenue collected by these registries. We recommended that the Master Registrar should ensure that the registrars submit their revenue records, including original NRA receipts and payment advice slips, to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Official response. The registrars from all the courts, with the exception of the Appeal Court, submitted their revenue return booklets, including the NRA receipt and payment advice slips during the audit period. The same document, as well as the Appeal Court's document, will be available for audit verification. Auditor's comment. The registrars of the Criminal Registry of the High Court and the Court of Appeal Registry did not submit their revenue returns to the Audit Service Sierra Leone. Therefore, the issue remains unresolved. Honorable members.
Yes, I wish to take with regard this last query.
Yes, honorable members, the issue of non-submission of documents returns by the registrars was directly under the office of the Master Registrar, because all returns are sent to the Master's office. So, but what I would love to make clear is that, for the criminal registry, they don't collect revenue. So for them, I think they should not have to mention that they do not collect revenue. So as to why
was that not mentioned in the official response?
Well, I don't know.
So you are contradicting somebody who responded.
Yes. Well, this was a blanket response for all the registries, But what I know, what the responsible person by them, I think it was the responsible person by them. It was the master, yes, who responded to this one.
So precisely, you are contradicting the Master Registrar.
So I'm telling you what audience according to the member. Because the criminal registry, they deal purely with criminal matters, and criminal matters are prosecuted by the state. So there is no requirement for
the response is clear from the master. It is audit recommendation noted. Which is from all reports with the exception of appeal court submitted a revenue return booklet. So what he's saying by saying the criminal registry does not collect revenue. It's right. They do not collect revenue. They deal with criminals. You cannot expect an accused person to pay. The state is responsible for their prosecution. So I'm not seeing anything contradictory here.
What the official response? You see, the official response the auditor received is different from what you are telling us.
But normally, your responses are not.
It doesn't tally at all. They are saying they did everything, and our
Madam.
Our auditor said, contrary to what you said, you said you brought all these papers on board, and they said they did not receive it. And it's all along the same thing all over, you see. As a judiciary, we are almost at the end of this, and I'm highly, highly, highly disappointed because they should learn from you guys.
Yes, sir. Can I come? The response here is not subject to or subjected to a response this accountant is giving on the basis of what generates revenue or what department does not generate revenue. That is not the question. The query is very clear here. For those that they query, the master and registrar now responded that with all the departments and people submitted their revenue booklet. That's what the query is talking about. So do not tell us here which department does not collect revenue. For those that collect revenue, the response clearly captures that those documents are going to be submitted to the auditors, which they said they did not submit. That is what we are talking about here. So let's be specific on what is the matter before us, not what is really transpiring in this season that we do not know.
Mr. Chairman, like the previous matter in which we are, because what they are saying now is, yes, the queries were sent, but there are specific areas of the query where revenue is not being generated. That response was not sent to the auditors because if it was sent, it would have been captured in the reports. So it is now a case just like the previous one in which it has to be the auditee and the auditors. First of all, you have to talk to the auditor generals to understand that this area is a non-revenue stream area. That was not done in your report. So again, it's a situation in which we will not fault you because you're just coming in. And in this situation, I now to your line that it's a new management and therefore the response that was written was not written from you. Because what I see now is the situation is as if, okay, you've come now to realize, okay, these were areas where, or this particular area does not have a revenue streaming. So therefore, it should have not been part of the revenue generated in units within the judiciary. Now we understand, but we, on this other side, it is not our job to just to understand for the auditors. They have to be here and give them the necessary information. So I also say, Mrs. Chairman, just like the previous one, we stick a pin on this and have them battle with the auditors to understand with them. So two issues we have to deal with the auditors there.
Yeah. As you said, we cannot effectively address these two issues in the absence of auditors. On that note, I want to stand it down. You heard from Secretariat. We have to report back. We have to come back for us to review.